Hola and welcome to ProSpanish. We're going to get started straight away. If you're one of our more advanced subscribers, you may wish to skip forward to the time frame that comes up on the screen now, or you can stick with us for some extra practice. Okay, we're going to start off with some verb phrases. If you're a complete beginner, not a problem at all. There's no need to try to memorize the language that I'm presenting. Just follow the flow of the lesson. Okay, we're going to start off with some quite straightforward verb phrases. And these are going to serve as our foundation, our building blocks. Visitar a Ramón. Visitar a Ramón. Nice and easy. To visit Ramón. And you'll notice that the V is pronounced like a B, the letter B. So it's visitar. Visitar a Ramón. To visit Ramón. Next one, nice and easy. Invitar a Silvia. Invitar a Silvia. To invite Sylvia. Now you'll notice the letter A in the middle there, a. So kind of more literally it says to invite to Sylvia or to visit to Ramón. We'll come back to that in a second. Next we have perder el tren. Perder el tren, well, it literally means to lose the train. But we would say to miss the train. To miss the train. But more literally, it's to lose the train. So a child might say to lose in the literal sense if it's their toy train. But we would normally be talking about missing the train. Perder el tren, to lose the train, to miss the train. Comprar entradas. Comprar entradas. Entradas are tickets. Tickets to go into some kind of event. So entradas from the verb entrar, to enter, and comprar, to buy. So comprar entradas, to buy tickets. Next we have conocer a Pilar. Conocer a Pilar. Now, conocer means to meet and to know. So, to know Pilar or to meet Pilar. And again, we've got this a there. So, it's to know to Pilar. To meet to Pilar. So, let's just clear this up. If you've got a verb, and then a person, in Spanish we use the letter a in between. So it's called the personal a, and it refers to the need for it to be there when there's a person after the verb. So that's why we have visitar a Ramón. Ramón's a person. So after the verb we've got a bit like the word to in Spanish. Invitar a Silvia, to invite Sylvia. We've got the personal a because she's a person. Conocer a Pilar, to meet or to know Pilar, again because it's a person. Going to the top one, visitar a Ramón. If it was to visit Madrid, Madrid's not a person, so there would be no a there. It would just be visitar Madrid. Now, it's worth saying at this point that that kind of explanation that I've just given, you can just let that wash over you. So you may be interested, and so you're paying more attention to that explanation, but equally you can let it wash over you, and you will still be able to use all the phrases and all the content from this lesson. Okay, so next we have celebrar su cumpleaños. Nice and easy. Celebrar, to celebrate. Celebrar su cumpleaños, to celebrate his or her birthday. Next is hacer un examen. Hacer is to do, so hacer un examen is to do an exam. And the next one is a fun one. Fingir ser invisible. Fingir ser invisible. Just with that one phrase there, there's a lot we can do with it, and we'll see that a little bit later. So we've got fingir, to pretend, ser, to be, to pretend to be, invisible, invisible. And we could see straight away what visible might be. What do you think it would be if it was visible? Visible. And what would it be if we wanted to say to be visible? Ser visible. Ser visible. To be visible. Okay, let's just play around with these so you get a bit more familiar with these verb phrases. How would you say to invite Ramon? What would that be, to invite Ramon? Invitar a Ramon. How would you say to visit Pilar? What would that be, to visit Pilar? Visitar a Pilar. Visitar a Pilar. Okay, we're just going to add a couple of time phrases to this. So nice and easy. Hoy is today. Hoy, today. And soon is pronto. Easy to remember. Pronto, soon. It's also used for early, but here we'll use it as soon. Pronto. And on Monday is el lunes. They say the Monday, but it's on Monday, el lunes. And this week is esta semana. Esta semana, this week. Okay, let's connect some of these now. How would you say to visit Ramon soon? What would that be, to visit Ramon soon? Visitar a Ramon pronto. Visitar a Ramon pronto. And if you're new to ProSpanish, it's important to think through the answer before you see it on the screen. So if you need to pause the video to give yourself some extra time, then that's certainly what you should do. Okay, how would you say to celebrate his birthday today? Celebrar su cumpleaños hoy. Celebrar su cumpleaños hoy. Okay, let's go to our first column, and this is the part that is going to give us our present and some future. A little bit later on, we'll learn how to use the past as well, but for the moment, we'll concentrate on the present and future. So, quiero is I want. Quiero, I want. I have to is tengo que. I have is tengo, but if we want to say the phrase I must, I have to, it's tengo que. And don't worry if you're feeling overwhelmed thinking this is just too much to take in. Just follow the flow of the lesson. Okay, so tengo que, I have to. Puedo is I can. Puedo. Nice and easy. Puedo, I can. Me gustaría is I would like. Me gustaría. Me gustaría, I would like. I prefer is prefiero. Prefiero. I prefer. Prefiero. Suelo is I tend to, or it's also used for I usually do something. So I usually visit Ramon today, for example, or I tend to visit Ramon today. So suelo. Interestingly, suelo also means the floor. Suelo, floor. No pienso. This is just an interesting one. No pienso. Pienso is I think. No pienso, I don't think. No pienso, I don't think. But it's used as an expression here to mean no way. No way am I doing this. So no pienso visitar a Ramon. There's no way I'm visiting Ramon. But more literally is, I don't think to visit Ramon. We wouldn't say that. The translation would be, no way am I visiting Ramon. So no pienso. And just notice how the no is all that was needed to turn it to a negative. Pienso, no pienso. So if quiero is I want, how would you say I don't want? No quiero, no quiero, I don't want. If puedo is I can, how would you say I can't? No puedo, no puedo. Suelo is I tend to. No suelo, I don't tend to. And finally, a very useful one, because it gets us to talk about the future straight away. Voy a. Voy a, I'm going to. Voy a, I'm going to. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to say some phrases in Spanish and just look at the table and try to work out what's being said. And we'll just take a brief pause there while I mention our incredibly popular all-in-one special offer. This takes the complete beginner or near beginner right up to a conversational level of Spanish in a series of very easy to follow steps. Now, all the lessons on this YouTube channel are supplementary, whereas the core levels 1 to 6 is very much a step-by-step program delivered by the same teacher, by me. And while the teaching style is very similar to what you'll be used to from these videos on the channel, the key difference is that every lesson carefully builds on the previous lessons, so you can really feel that sense of progress of going from little or no Spanish up to a level where you can confidently hold a conversation in Spanish. As soon as you complete your purchase, you are sent a download email. The download is yours to keep and you can use it on any of your devices. And this is available exclusively on prospanish.co.uk. Okay, so let's get back to our lesson. And to start with, I'm just going to focus on the first two columns. Quiero comprar entradas. What does that mean? Quiero comprar entradas. I want to buy tickets. What does it mean if I were to say suelo visitar a Ramón? I usually visit Ramón, or I tend to visit Ramón. How about if I said quiero fingir ser invisible. Quiero fingir ser invisible. What does that mean? I want to pretend to be invisible. How about if I said tengo que invitar a Silvia? Tengo que invitar a Silvia. I have to invite Sylvia. I have to invite Sylvia. How about if we'll extend that? What about if I said tengo que invitar a Silvia, pero, which means but, tengo que invitar a Silvia, pero quiero invitar a Ramón. tengo que invitar a Silvia, but, quiero invitar a Ramón. That would mean I have to invite Sylvia, but I want to invite Ramón. What does this mean? No pienso invitar a Pilar. No pienso invitar a Pilar. There's no way I'm inviting Pilar. How about voy a conocer a Pilar? Voy a conocer a Pilar. I'm going to meet Pilar. I'm going to meet Pilar. Okay, let's add in the time phrases, the third column now. What does this mean? Me gustaría visitar a Ramón esta semana. Me gustaría visitar a Ramón esta semana. I'd like to visit Ramón this week. How about tengo que celebrar su cumpleaños hoy. Tengo que celebrar su cumpleaños hoy. I have to celebrate his birthday today. How about I'm going to do an exam on Monday. Voy a hacer un examen el lunes. Voy a hacer un examen el lunes. Let's have a negative. No puedo perder el tren hoy. No puedo perder el tren hoy. I can't miss the train today. So I've got something very important on. No puedo perder el tren hoy. Okay, we'll swap it around now, and you do the speaking, and we'll start off with just the first two columns to begin with. How would you say, I'd like to celebrate his birthday or her birthday? Me gustaría celebrar su cumpleaños. Me gustaría celebrar su cumpleaños. How about I can't celebrate her birthday? No puedo celebrar su cumpleaños. No puedo celebrar su cumpleaños. Let's just add on today. So how would you say, I can't celebrate her birthday today? No puedo celebrar su cumpleaños hoy. No puedo celebrar su cumpleaños hoy. And how would you say, there's no way I'm buying tickets? What would that be? Or no way am I buying tickets? No pienso comprar entradas. No pienso comprar entradas. Okay, we'll use all three columns now. How would you say, I'd like to meet Pilar this week? I'd like to meet Pilar this week. What would that be? Me gustaría conocer a Pilar esta semana. Me gustaría conocer a Pilar esta semana. How about, I don't want to miss the train today. No quiero perder el tren hoy. No quiero perder el tren hoy. What about, there's no way I'm doing an exam today. No pienso hacer un examen hoy. No pienso hacer un examen hoy. How about, I prefer to celebrate his birthday on Monday. Prefiero celebrar su cumpleaños el lunes. Prefiero celebrar su cumpleaños el lunes. How about, I'm going to invite Sylvia soon. Voy a invitar a Silvia pronto. Voy a invitar a Silvia pronto. Let's look at some of the versatility that we've got here. I'm sure you know that Spanish is español, español. How would you say, I'm going to pretend to be Spanish? What would that be? Voy a fingir ser español. Voy a fingir ser español. And the feminine form of español, so if you're a girl or a woman, española. So you would say, voy a fingir ser española. I'm going to pretend to be Spanish. Let's reuse that. How would you say, I can't pretend to be Spanish? No puedo fingir ser español. O no puedo fingir ser española. Okay, before we move on to using the past, there's a quick trick we can use to multiply what we've just learnt. So, if we look at our infinitive verb phrases, so visitar a Ramón, invitar a Silvia, etc. If we want to change of any of these from to do something, to visit, to invite, and we want to change it to we do those things, the only thing we have to do is take the last R off, the last letter, the R off the verb, and add mos. And we will have we do these things. So we'll try it with visitar a Ramón is to visit Ramón. If we want to say we visit Ramón, we just take the R off and add mos, and we have visitamos. Visitamos a Ramón. We visit Ramón. To know Pilar is conocer a Pilar. If we want to say we know Pilar, we just take the R off and add mos. Conocemos a Pilar. Conocemos a Pilar. We know Pilar. How would you say we miss the train? We lose the train. What would that be? Perdemos el tren. Perdemos el tren. How would you say we celebrate his birthday? Celebramos su cumpleaños. Celebramos su cumpleaños. How about we pretend? What would that be? We pretend. Fingimos. Fingimos. How do you say we do? Hacemos. Hacemos. We do a lot. Hacemos mucho. Hacemos mucho. Okay, so that's a quick trick to multiply everything you know. So we're going to move on to the past now, and it's worth noting that obviously I'm squeezing a lot into this. I'm trying to give you a very useful video, so you may want to come back to this again and again as it's so useful in the actual levels 1 to 6 course, which is of course step by step. We go at a much easier pace, making sure that nobody gets lost on the way. Okay, let's have a look at the past then. So I decided is decidí. Decidí. I decided. Decidí. Fui a is I went to. I went to. Fui a. So for example, fui a Madrid. I went to Madrid. Fui a Argentina. I went to Argentina. No pude is I couldn't, I wasn't able to. So pude, I was able to. No pude, I wasn't able to. And acabo de is a very useful little phrase meaning I've just. So I've just and then plus your full verb means I've just done whatever it might be. So we're going to stick with the infinitives that we had before. So visitar a Ramón, invitar a Silvia, etc. But we're going to change the time phrases. So ayer, yesterday. El otro día, the other day. And por la mañana, in the morning. Por la mañana, in the morning. So let's go straight into you producing the phrases, as that's how we can maximize your learning time. How would you say, I decided to buy tickets? And we'll just focus on the first two columns. I decided to buy tickets. What would that be? Decidí comprar entradas. Decidí comprar entradas. I decided to buy tickets. How about I went to visit Ramón? What would that be? Fui a visitar a Ramón. Fui a visitar a Ramón. I went to visit Ramón. How about I've just met Pilar? What would that be? So for the first time, I've just met Pilar. Acabo de conocer a Pilar. Acabo de conocer a Pilar. I've just met Pilar. How would you say, I couldn't do an exam? I couldn't do one exam. What would that be? No pude hacer un examen. No pude hacer un examen. I wasn't able to do an exam. How about I've just missed the train? What would that be? Acabo de perder el tren. Acabo de perder el tren. Okay, let's use the third column as well. How would you say, I decided to invite Sylvia yesterday? Decidí invitar a Silvia ayer. Decidí invitar a Silvia ayer. How about I wasn't able to visit Ramón the other day. No pude visitar a Ramón el otro día. No pude visitar a Ramón el otro día. How about I decided to pretend to be Spanish. Decidí fingir ser español. O decidí fingir ser española. So I've squeezed a lot into this video just so that you can get a sense of how quickly you can learn Spanish with the right approach. Just before we go on to the more advanced part of this lesson, another reminder that our very popular Levels 1 to 6 course is available exclusively from ProSpanish.co.uk. Okay, so we're going to start off with hay que decírselo. Hay que decírselo. And you know that hay que is like you have to, or we have to, or one has to. It's a kind of impersonal, this needs to be done. Decir, you'll know, is to say or to tell. Decírselo is to tell him, or to tell her, or to tell them. If we take it apart, it is to tell him or her or them it. And the se is there instead of le or les, because it wouldn't sound right to say decirlelo. So the le is changed to se, or if it were a les, it would change to se as well. So decírselo is to tell him, tell her, or tell them, whatever the thing might be. So hay que decírselo. They need to be told. You got to tell her, you got to tell him. And then we have antes de que, before. Para que is so that. Para que no, so that, and then the negative, so that they don't, or he or she doesn't. A menos que, unless. And you may have guessed that as these conjunctions show that there's uncertainty about something occurring, the subjunctive will follow. So we're going to stick with the same phrases that we had before, but we're going to put them into the subjunctive present they. So normally they visit would be visitan, so we just do the opposite ending, which would be visiten. Visiten. Visiten a Ramón. They visit Ramón. And the same happens all the way down. So inviten a Silvia, the subjunctive. Pierdan el tren. Compren entradas. Conozcan a Pilar. They meet or they know Pilar. Celebren su cumpleaños. Hagan un examen. And finjan ser invisibles. Okay, so have a listen and work out what's being said. Hay que decírselo antes de que inviten a Silvia. Hay que decírselo antes de que inviten a Silvia. We need to tell them before they invite Sylvia, or they need to be told before they invite Sylvia. How about, hay que decírselo para que no compren entradas. Hay que decírselo para que no compren entradas. You need to tell them so that they don't buy tickets. They need to be told so that they don't buy tickets. How about hay que decírselo a menos que conozcan a Pilar. Hay que decírselo a menos que conozcan a Pilar. We should tell them unless they know Pilar. How about hay que decírselo para que no pierdan el tren. Hay que decírselo para que no pierdan el tren. We should tell them, or you need to tell them so that they don't miss the train. How about hay que decírselo antes de que hagan un examen. Hay que decírselo antes de que hagan un examen. You need to tell them before they do an exam. Okay, let's do it the other way around now. How would you say you have to tell them so that they don't meet Pilar? Hay que decírselo para que no conozcan a Pilar. Hay que decírselo para que no conozcan a Pilar. How about you have to tell them before they invite Silvia. Hay que decírselo antes de que inviten a Silvia. Hay que decírselo antes de que inviten a Silvia. How about you need to tell them unless they miss the train. Hay que decírselo a menos que pierdan el tren. Hay que decírselo a menos que pierdan el tren. And if we wanted to change they, visit Ramon, they miss the train, we just remove the N and then it will be he or she. So if we wanted to say you need to tell them, or you need to tell him so that he doesn't buy tickets, hay que decírselo para que no compre entradas. So remember, decírselo was to tell him, her, or them. So how would you say, you need to tell her so that she doesn't invite Silvia. Hay que decírselo para que no invite a Silvia. Hay que decírselo para que no invite a Silvia. How about you have to tell him before he celebrates his birthday. Hay que decírselo antes de que celebre su cumpleaños. Hay que decírselo antes de que celebre su cumpleaños. How about you need to tell her so that she doesn't miss the train. Hay que decírselo para que no pierda el tren. Hay que decírselo para que no pierda el tren. You need to tell him before he does an exam. Hay que decírselo antes de que haga un examen. Hay que decírselo antes de que haga un examen. And that concludes today's ProSpanish lesson. As mentioned earlier, if you're looking to become a confident and a competent speaker of Spanish, then head over to prospanish.co.uk.